And I'm here today hoping for another Mercedes masterclass. Seems like these upgrades have done the job they're supposed to do in terms of reducing the porpoising. And yeah, we're just here at the head of I think it's Q1. So let's get some volume in this thing. Leclerc first, Sainz second, Verstappen in P3 by 2/10.
What do we reckon here, Martin? Round about the 120.7, 120.8. Could that be the
Just gonna
cut-off
turn down the
here,
TV
Arthur?
as well.
Could they go
20.7, yes, I agree
Is
with
it
you. Certainly
muted?
want to be
I think
sub
it's muted.
121s, don't you, to
I think it's
get any
muted.
kind of
I don't know why my TV's not muting.
but
Anyway.
those then
Hey, there we go.
Perez's time was on used
I'm
tyres,
liking the way Mercedes are looking this
so
week though. Those
that
upgrades
explains why
definitely
he
have seemed
finished
to
sixth
iron out the car a bit, which we love
over
to see.
the front pair of
Russell and Lewis not too
but
far
it's,
apart from each other
if you
either.
look at
Four
Mercedes, they're still
hundredths of a
4 tenths
second
behind,
difference
2.5
there. It's
tenths
quite
behind
nice.
the Ferraris, third of a second.
And
That's
even
a big
Bottas
step
in
forward.
P6 ahead of Perez as well, which is
It's
interesting to
third of a
see.
second. You go a very long way in a Formula 1 car,
See if I
relatively
can see the
speaking.
comments.
And here's some analysis through turn 5 then, that long left-hander. Max Verstappen carrying...
I think I heard somebody say the track temperatures are something ridiculous, like 43 degrees, which is crazy. Tires are not really going to last too long, especially the softs.
Picking the throttle up earlier, but that's quite unusual to carry more speed in and more speed out, although he does give a bit in the middle.
Sebastian going out in the green Red Bull, as they've branded it. Very controversial package. Oh, it's straw actually. Let's see.
Session where we lose the bottom 5 by the time we complete the final
Guys, if you're in the chat, let me know and give me your predictions for the top 3 in Q3. Who do you think is going to get pole and who's going to fill in the podium positions for qualifying? I think I can see Russell going out on some scrubbed soft tires as well. I think they'll easily make it into Q2. Oh, Lewis is backing off a bit.
And making sure that they don't get caught out. There are no surprises.
Probably just wants to fit into a nice little gap.
Just slotting in behind his good mate George Russell. 2 minutes to go here.
Okay, and now he's off. Perfect. Thought something was wrong there for a second.
Before it comes out, start their final flying lap before the clock ticks down.
It's interesting to see how the drivers are going about the warm-up lap to the hot lap. The tyres seem to have a quite narrow window.
Because we know that they all start parking up, don't they, in turns 14 and 15. And we have seen drivers miss the car.
What is that, Mick Schumacher? They fixed his car. Man like Mick, you know. Jeez. He's literally the man on fire about like 2 hours ago and they managed to fix the Haas. It's pretty good.
Max Verstappen owed an awful lot to the tow he got down the straight from Sergio Perez.
So we're going to get tight on time. We're going to miss the flag.
Oh, you're going to miss the flag, damn.
I did think that they might be cutting it a bit fine, and Mercedes rather confirming that as well. So yeah,
No, Mick's not going to miss the flag. What's he going to do? Mick really needs to step up his game this season, man. The Haas is competitive. He should be getting some points, and I think he's one of only 2 drivers this season to not get any points.
Formula 1 last time out in Miami was 5 laps away from a really decent result before he collided with his mate Sebastian Vettel, and that rather ruined his weekend and certainly his race. And Sebastian Vettel's 2.
First sector looks decent.
Of a second up. Through the first sector on a time he needs to get out of
600s up.
5. Nicholas Latifi also trying to get out of the bottom 5, couple of tenths slower than Schumacher through that first sector.
I think Ricciardo might be in trouble.
Is just a tenth down on Mick, who
Oof, that shot though.
a feature of his F2 championship winning season, never qualified on the front row.
Alright, what's he going to do in the middle sector? I wonder if he's looked after the tyres. Ooh, another 10th! Mick's on fire.
Yeah, he's been driving very well lately, Mick. It was a pity about that. It was a little bit clumsy, wasn't it? Against
Whilst Magnussen's actually lost 2 tenths in the middle sector.
in Miami, but, they've certainly got that car nice and low, and we know there's a lot of downforce to be generated from these ground effect cars.
Jumped over the curb. That chicane. I think he might make it. Mick might make it into Q2. It's a decent lap. 8th. Jeez. Is that Mick or Michael Schumacher? Let me know. Jesus. And Mick as well. I mean, on Magnussen, P5. Some decent track evolution here.
To start this final flying lap of his. Lance Stroll stays in the bottom 5. Didn't improve during the
Jeez. Aston's package looking a bit sus. Can Seb get out?
Keep an eye on him.
I think he.
Sebastian
Yeah,
Vettel
he's out.
just
Seb's
a
out.
little bit further out
Seb's
of
made it
danger,
into
but only a
Q2.
little bit further out of danger. He's 13th.
What happened to
Now,
Gasly?
Pierre Gasly to get out of the bottom
President
five
of
just a
Team
little
LH, he
less
makes it into
fastest was
P11.
his teammate
Nice.
Yuki Tsunoda, who's on a personal best, into that bottom five.
Ricardo.
Fernando Alonso is now in the bottom five
Ricardo's
as Ricardo goes
come
10th
out of the drop
fastest
zone.
overall. Next, Tsunoda, and it's both Aston Martins with their new upgrade
Ha!
out in Q1 here at
Ha!
Barcelona.
The
Heavily
Green
polished
Bull.
new car, and
Both
it's
Green
not
Bulls
quite
out.
to their
Shocking
liking in
scenes.
this part of qualifying. We're on board with Fernando Alonso, who is
Yeah, his lap's gonna be ruined. Whoever that Mercedes was in front of Alonso.
and only 17th fastest.
Nope, he's out.
We missed Fernando Alonso, and his lap
17th place in your home Grand Prix, you know. Shocking. And Ocon made it out as well, you know. Jeez. Fernando in the mud.
Yeah, and that's going to disappoint the Spanish fans, isn't it? Massively. with
You're right,
those
Martin.
down
You're right,
seconds
absolutely. It is gonna
on the grid.
disappoint the Spanish fans.
Pointed out, both Aston
Ian Payala
Martins.
Rice and them things there.
Sebastian, we're P16 at the moment, so we're out, I'm afraid.
You must be kidding.
Oh, poor guy.
Fears out of the
He's like, you must be
about
kidding.
having plagiarized bits of the Red Bull.
Nah, fam, that's
They did,
peak.
they're not working.
That's so
But,
peak.
obviously, Aston Martin say they didn't.
Yes, one of the
Stroll getting called to the
of
weigh
that,
bridge as well.
whilst Red Bull have their drivers third.
That's actually peak, you know. How do you copy a Red Bull and still not do drillings? That's mad.
The bottom five, I'm afraid. So for Nicholas Latifi, it's another Q1 exit, and his teammate Alex Albon
Latifi.
being knocked out. Lance Stroll, Sebastian
Only a second off though.
in that first part of
That's not
qualifying,
bad
and much
for Latifi.
dismay here. Fernando
Second out of the
Alonso
drop
going
zone.
17th fastest.
It's interesting to see, man. Haas look quite competitive. Valtteri Bottas has been slept on as usual. Obviously Lewis and George as well seem quite close together. So, yeah, anything could happen.
London loves blowing pints, shaking it up,
Let me put a little comment inside here as well.
big buns, milking it, getting smashed, double dipping, a bit of grime, blending in, looking fresh. But the grocery London loves most is bananas. Literally, you order absolutely loads of them. Weirdos. Gorillas.
It's interesting thing with Aston Martin though. I know it's only been one race, but they might actually go back to the old spec car because this new upgrade package is not giving them really the results they want for now anyway. You go on F1 Twitter as well and see what the latest news is. See if there's any news. It's a good point by Quickstop F1, you know. They've made a tweet saying surely there's a multinational company that could bankroll Jamie Chadwick into F2 and use her historic achievements as corporate advertising. It's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Like, Jamie Chadwick's been so impressive in the W Series and just generally seems like a quite competitive driver. So, if I had the money, I know I'd definitely be investing in her. But yeah, it's a strange one because I think she genuinely deserves to be in F1 or at least a more competitive race series on merit. Then you will get the people as well that don't want the kind of token gesture, I guess, of just putting a female into a F1 seat for the sake of doing it. So it's a bit of a debate there. Brad Philpott saying opinion. The F1 drone cam is effing awful. I don't know. The drone cam, I don't think the fidelity of the image you see is quite nice. It looks like it's been filmed on a potato cam. But the actual like idea of it following the cars through that chicane in the final sector, I think is quite cool. Wait, did Gasly make it out? I think he did, you know, because he's still in the car.
It's always very difficult, and Q1 is more important for the drivers to keep up the pace and understand the track changes, how the car feels.
Mattia Bonotto looks happy as well, man. Jeez.
It will be very tight, I believe, and obviously we know that the starting grid is key for the race. race tomorrow.
Matteo, so what do you have left now in the toolbox for Q2 and Q3 in terms of performance? What are you able to do to go even faster?
You got to go with them illegal 2019 Ferrari engines. That's what they
Drivers
got.
seem to push harder and harder. Otherwise, they take it a bit more easy in Q1, no risks.
Mhm.
As I said, try to fill the car, but obviously engine mode, you're already at the maximum fuel weight, you are where you should be, and then it's now really try to build on the best lap time for Q2 and Q3.
We saw Sergio Perez giving Max Verstappen a bit of a tow on his first flying lap. Is that something you've discussed between you?
Ooh, spice. Oh, he's pressed the
Matteo,
wrong button.
we can't
Yeah,
quite hear you,
here I am.
Matteo.
Mateo's
Sorry.
such a flipping
Get a
boomer.
tow
He
on
always
the
presses
What
the
we will
wrong
do, that's
button when he's
really
trying to
good
connect with the
because
Sky
obviously
Sports
it's more
team.
important to stay focused on ourselves. Each single driver try to do their own quali, and the best we've seen it's worthwhile attempts, which is still significant, but we will not go for it.
Wait, Zhou Guan
Matteo,
Yu as
thanks ever
well.
so much. Great to hear from
Man
you.
like Zhou, you
Good luck
know.
this weekend
Nice
and,
to see.
good luck for the second part of qualifying. Now, I mentioned Fernando Alonso, Martin. What happened to him at the end of that Q1 session? He's out of qualifying. We think he's on his out lap here.
Oh,
And
oh
there is the
no.
McLaren of Lando Norris zooming
Oh,
in right where
mate.
Fernando Alonso wanted to be.
Calma, calma.
That
Remember
is
when
a
Alonso blocked Lewis on his
Alonso's
lap in
not
practice,
at
and now he's getting
qualifying
blocked
lap
in
speed. In fact,
Q1?
they're all
Calma.
copying. He's just decided to overtake.
Hey,
They're almost
Georgina
like pole
girl. Nice to
position
see you inside
competition
here. Just
aligned
watching the
with tyres.
qualifying live.
I don't know if you can
I
consider
saw your
that
boy Alonso got held up in traffic for
lucky.
Q1, so
He was
just saying it's a
definitely
bit of
he certainly
calma,
didn't
calma,
arrive
you
there
know.
at quali speed. So I think that was
But
an
yeah, it's
unfortunate
interesting.
result.
Aston Martin's
I think
upgrades
it's
don't
been
seem to have
egregious
done
as
the
well.
trick, which
Those
is
further investigations
interesting considering the
could well
controversy
be
surrounding them. So yeah,
but
Valtteri
that
Bottas
was
looks
a good
strong though.
session for
Nice
Alpine
to see
and
him
for Norris.
competitive even
If
in
it
an
was
Alfa
bad for
Romeo.
Aston Martin, it wasn't brilliant for
And
Alpine.
we just had like an
Alpine
interview
hanging in
between
third,
Mattia
a 7-1
Bonotto and the
podium.
Sky F1
Matteo,
panel too, and they're
joining
just
us
talking about what
in
they could do
qualifying
differently in
live
Q2 and
from our
Q3 to
customer.
just go
We'll bring
faster.
you the
So yeah,
highlights alongside the live action, which will be getting underway in a
can't
few
lie though, it
moments
looks
by pressing
packed.
your red
This is
button.
like the most
As
packed
said
Spanish
by the
Grand Prix I've seen in a while, man.
commentators, we're
Jeez.
officially a minute into this Q2 session. No one seems to be in a hurry to get out of the garage.
Man like Julian,
Martin,
nice to
it's
see you inside here as well, Julian. Always a
and
pleasure to have familiar faces like you around here. You said Charles, Max, and Lewis. Yeah, I could get jiggy with that. I could get jiggy with that. And as long as the Mercedes are within like 2 or 3 tenths of them in quali, I think they might even stand a better chance in the race with the race pace. We know that tire degradation around Barcelona is quite aggressive, so you never know. Mercedes might be able to do something genius with the strategy, I'm hoping.
And Mattia, they're saying to us, Mattia Benotto saying, look, we've got nothing else for the drivers. We've got no more
Okay, so the
power.
timer for
They can
Q2 is
still
already
work
going down.
faster.
I don't think any cars are on the track
They
just yet.
saved a little bit of battery mode for the peak runs, and you see the
Jeez, man, you
progression
could tell it's
of the
frying out there.
Sky
It must be at
presenter
least, I know the
coming
track
off
temperature is like
their
43
best
degrees,
progression
but the air temperature must be
Q1,
wicked as
Q2, and
well.
Q3.
Like, I saw Lewis wearing this really iced out
Just
jacket,
30
I
more to
think
go
on a
for
Friday,
Max
and
Verstappen.
I was like,
Kimi
bro,
is still
it looks
third.
swaggy, I can't lie, but how are you wearing them things in this weather, boy? It's hot.
Change my brother for a photo with you. You wouldn't change your brother for a photo with Max Verstappen?
Jeez, no cars going out. No cars going out at all, you know. People even have the umbrellas over them just so they have shade. That's crazy.
Big weekend for young Carlos Sainz. And
Young Carlito, you know.
I'd love to see him win
It'd be
Spain.
really nice to see him get a pole position in his home Grand Prix, but I
It
don't know. I
would
think
certainly
Charles just has that magic.
overcome quite a lot of things, not least Charles Leclerc and others, to make
It's
things
like a
happen.
PJ style. Yeah, yeah, it's something like a PJ style. I don't know. Like, man, Lewis is always just trendy with like Lewis wears stuff that I think it'll be fashionable in like 20 years' time. Like, he's always ahead of the game. It's crazy. Okay, so the first car is out there. I think it's our boy Russell. I see AlphaTauri going out there as well.
The brand new ERS package, which wasn't ready for Carlos Sainz.
I wonder if they're going to sacrifice Perez as well and make him give Max a tow. Be interesting to see.
In Australia. So there is a potential performance deficit just by the fact that Leclerc's got the upgraded engine in and Carlos hasn't.
Yeah, and a good reminder that however much power you've got is not enough. Basically, even if it is
Friday was Star Wars and today was PJ. Hey, you gotta mix it up, George. You know, you gotta mix it up. A little bit style here, a little bit style there, taking inspiration from different places. Why are they going so slowly out of the pits? I don't understand. They're looking for a toe. What's going on there? Julian said, hold out hope for Lewis. He's usually the heartbreaker when it comes to Q3 last minute times. Yeah, no doubt, Julian, no doubt at all. You know, with Lewis, you can always pull up some magic out of the bag as well. So I would never count him out. And like I said as well earlier, just it's nice to see that they probably still have to find a bit more time to consistently be up there with Ferrari and Red Bull, but the car's not bouncing up and down like a kangaroo. So definitely these upgrades, and I think that special test, the TV test day thing that they did on I think it was Thursday, seems to have ironed things out a bit in terms of the ride performance of the car. Okay, there's a graphic and it's saying that Carlos Sainz is first in the medium speed corners. He's 2/10 quicker than Leclerc. That's interesting. Obviously identical cars, but perhaps two different setups with each car. Right, Lewis going for a hot lap now. See what the legend can do. Man, this W13 is riding nice now.
10 minutes to go then, and let's feature what's happening on track because the action is
Smooth.
starting to hot up now, and we can see Lewis Hamilton.
Hopefully Lewis doesn't like kill all the tires in the first sector as well. He just beds the tires in, because with these soft tires in these conditions, they're not going to last too long. So you want to try and save some of the life and energy of the tire towards the third sector. I think somebody's in front of him too. Yeah, it's a Red Bull. They're running that Mercedes really low as well. It's interesting to see. Even when it's running so low to the ground, it's not really porpoising as aggressively. K-Mag's getting the IndyCar spirit. I agree. IndyCar, NASCAR, he's really embracing the American side of his team, which is lovely to see. So, Lewis purple second sector and George purple first sector, but we haven't seen the Ferraris or Red Bull show their hands just yet for the Ooh! What a drift! What a drift! Jesus. Car controls and a madness. It's a 19.7. Expect George to have a better, yep, 3 tenths. 3 tenths. It's that last sector. He got on the sausage curb and the car just wouldn't live with it. But again, you definitely know the times there. Sainz not green in the first sector. Okay, what's going on? This might be a Mercedes comeback, you know. What's Sainz going to do in the middle sector? Yeah, you can see Sainz isn't too happy with that car. It's a bit understeery. Oh, and my stream's lagging. As in, oh, the TV. Okay, it's back. Been a neat line from Sainz though. Yeah, I think Sainz is taking it easy. Bit of overstay on the exit. Yeah, he's gonna have to do another lap. 9 tenths off of Russell. Let's see what Leclerc's gonna do. 4 tenths. Guys, Mercedes OP. It might be back. What? Ooh. Ooh. Has she awoken? Has the W13 awoken? Jeez. They're showing you a replay of Lewis. Oh, Lewis is on used tires. Okay, makes sense. Ooh. Just got a bit, yeah, the car just fishtailed a bit on the final curb. Nia, hello, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping well and watching the qualifying too. Oh, I'm so excited to see the Mercedes back up at the front. I don't know if the other drivers are using used tires, so there's still a lot to be seen, but it's just good to see both of the Mercedes drivers at the front. Lewis messed up on the last turn. Yeah, I agree with you as well, Julian. Just a bit of oversteer. He tried to correct it and he lost maybe about 3 tenths on that corner alone. But everybody seems like they're struggling with that. Even Max had a bit of a snap there. Yeah, he hit that curb and it kind of just bounced the car offline. I can't believe this guy's though. A 1-2.
Lewis is having to hustle this car, and that's not how we're used to seeing him drive a Mercedes. George seems to be able to be more precise with the car.
Man, don't start that narrative, Brando. Don't come with that. About, oh, Lewis is hustling the car and Russell's more smooth with it. They always like to do them subtle kind of jabs, you know. So I can't stand Sky Sports. Yeah, I agree as well, Nia. Like, because that's the thing. We were just like, when is this car going to show its real performance? And finally now, it looks like we might be getting somewhere. So hopefully they can just keep it up. Because a lot of people on the podcast have been saying as well that, you know, once they understand the philosophy of this W13 with its really narrow like side pods, it'll have so much potential and be a world beater. So as the fans, we've just been waiting for that moment to come along, and now it looks like it might actually start from this race onwards. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really good, but I need to see it. I need to see it with my own eyes to believe it. I always had a feeling it was there, but I just want to see it. So they got another like animation. It's saying car performance rankings: George Russell first fastest, Charles Leclerc fifth, and only 2 tenths off. Oh, on the straights, on the straights. Okay, it's for the straights. They're saying that the Mercedes, George Russell's Mercedes, is faster than Charles Leclerc's Ferrari by 2 tenths on the straight. It's crazy. Because again, a couple of weeks ago, all the McLaren fanboys were saying, "Oh, Mercedes power units are finished. Oh, we should just go back and get our own engine deal with Porsche, like what they did with Honda." But yeah, now it seems that Mercedes have got some straight line speed, whether it's the package they're running or the engine. Looks like it's quite quick in a straight line again. Ocon on P12 is good. Okay. So let's see the order. Russell, Hamilton. Oh, they got rid of the graphic.
On Pierre, we had a message for all the drivers. Message for all the drivers. We are not allowed to open the gap in the pit exits like this anymore.
Interesting. So, AlphaTauri guys already snitching to the FIA about Daniel Ricciardo slowing in the pits. I think it was Daniel. Yeah, it was Daniel Ricciardo. Had to be. Julian said being able to have a six-car fight for poles and wins would be amazing. So yeah, 100%, man. I think the sport needed it because don't get me wrong, last year we had an amazing battle between obviously Lewis and Max, but then when you have three manufacturers and six drivers that could potentially win, it's nuts, you know. And you got Sainz looking to get his first race win. You got Russell that's like done all this hard work to even get into the Mercedes like works team, and the car hasn't been where it should be, and now it looks like it might be closer. So it's interesting. Sainz is messing around at all, boy. He just jumped the entire queue to go on his hot lap. Oh, oh. From this angle, I can't tell what that is. It looks like an Alpine. Alpine's re-overtaken Sainz.
Yeah, and Sainz will be miffed because Ocon's just passed him and taken up the nice free space he's built.
Nope, there's a bit of a cat and mouse going on there between Sainz and Ocon. And when you do that as well, like you're taking life out of your tires, so yeah, it's a bit weird. And then Sainz has opened his DRS like he's gonna repass Ocon, and then he hasn't. So weird series of events there.
Prepare his car, his tires, his brakes. He doesn't want to be too close. You want a little bit of a slip, so you find the car in front to get a touch of slipstream without it then affecting you through the corners, especially if you're faster than that car.
So Russell
I wonder if
Mercedes believe safely through to
okay.
the next part of qualifying.
Ooh, that's risky. I think they'll get through. But if it was me personally, I would have gone out there on a set of scrub tires just in case, because there could be some track evolution. And I think Science is on fresh tires. Let's see what you'll do.
Not only on board, but with the visor cam and the driver eye view of what it's like to barrel in.
Oh, this is such a sick view. The helmet camera as well. You can see kind of what the driver sees.
Saw the porpoising, didn't we? That's porpoising through 3 as well. Look at that. It's a right old handful, doesn't it? And the wonder of the human brain and human eye that he can stay focused.
Oh, snapper oversteer there from Science. Still a green sector, so he's not gone faster than Russell there.
Car very obediently turns in there. This is an easy one to get to 6s and nothing. 7 is a tight
Yeah, not many people improving. Schumacher's not improved, but he's still in the top 10. Gasly's gone slightly quicker in his first sector.
Wide, but I actually lost vision there. And there's the porpoising cutting in just towards the end.
It's a good middle sector from Science. Only 10th and a bit off in the middle sector.
The car was sliding on downshifting and braking. Nice and tight through 12. And here comes another unsighted corner. Oops, there it is. It always catches you out. And now get off the brakes. Carry the speed through here. Pick the throttle up. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it.
Yeah, that was a smoother lap.
You feel the car load up with grip, you're gone.
So, improvement for Carlos Sainz needed. Improvement
P1. That was a good last sector.
Not by much, but certainly
You can hear the Spanish fans going, yay, in the background as well. Definitely some track evolution though. So, oh guys, it's going to be an epic Q3. Has Verstappen gone out again? 6 tenths off the pace at the moment. Ah, Guan Yu's not improved. Ooh, Schumacher's in the drop zone. Yep, Mick's out, I think. Max has done a purple middle sector. Max goes fastest by 2 tenths. This is going to be crazy. Ah, it's too close, guys. I can't tell who's going to do this thing today.
Time deleted for track limits at turn 12. So that was the time that got him into the top 10, was it not?
Who?
Lando Norris?
I think
Lando Norris. Ha! Scenes! Lando Norris kicked out of the top 10. Had an invalid lap. Schumacher's promoted back into P10. Jeez. This is some drama. This is some Jerry Springer business right here. Wow. Decent comeback from Mick, you know. I have to respect it. Because it didn't even look like he's going to be doing this qualifying session today when his left brake got damaged with the fire.
So that puts us out in P11, I'm afraid.
And he got out qualified by Ricardo. It's sticky. It's sticky. Yeah. To be fair, he would have got through had he had not invalidated, and he's only out by 300s. Ah, it's a sticky one for AlphaTauri too. And Tsunoda out-qualifies Gasly. But Mick making it into Q3, I can get jiggy with that. He needs this week as well. If he can get some points, that would be really grande. Man, that's a shock though. That's a real shock. You put it in the chat. Who is more of a shock not making it into Q3? I'm gonna put Lando or Gasly. Slap that in there. I agree. Happy for Mick Schumacher. I always get the two of the mixer, Mick and Michael. But Dent, do you know if Lewis still has a sensory device under his car? I haven't heard any updates about it, to be fair, Nia. I know Bryson follows those things quite closely. Bryson Sullivan, Natural Paradigm. If you guys haven't checked him out before, I implore you to do so because he's so knowledgeable. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about the censoring devices, so I'm hoping that his car and Russell's car are about equal in terms of performance. Because To be honest, this is the one race I'd expect them to run equal spec cars for both drivers because they've got all the data already from earlier in the year when they were doing the Barcelona test. So there's no real reason for them to use two different packages. And Mercedes, I mean, there is a cost cap, but you'd think that Mercedes probably have a lot of money to buy spare parts and stuff like that too. So yeah, I don't think they'll be running that Century device, but who knows? You know, there's so many cameras and they're hidden in quite clever places too. So sometimes we don't even see them until they're, revealed to us. And Julian said Norris. Yeah, yeah, I think Norris is a big shock too. Like that's the thing, he would have got through, but you can't. You know, with these new race directors, they said anytime you get any like off track limits or you like defy the track limits, they're gonna take away your lap. So can't really say I'm too surprised either. And also, it could be a good opportunity for Daniel too, because he hasn't really had the opportunity yet to shine. And I know that there's a lot of talk about his stability with McLaren this year too, because he's probably got a contract for a couple of years. But of course, if an F1 team wants to replace you, it's usually as easy as clicking your fingers together. So we'll see.
Here at the circuit of Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix, where for the first time in 4 starts, Lando Norris will find himself outside of the top 10. Karun Chandhok's got more on why his lap time was deleted.
Yeah, indeed, Croft. He was so unlucky.
Ooh, we're seeing the footage now. We're seeing the infringement in 4K.
I'm just going to slow it down because
So what do you
just
do?
watch as he gets to the end. It's just, I mean, it's millimeters you're talking here. He is, I would say, over.
Ooh, he is over, but that's harsh. That's considering there's a gravel trap on the other side. That is kind of harsh, but it's the same rule for everyone, so is what it is. I don't think he went that wide to gain an advantage either. It just looked like the car understeered, carried him that wide. But again, track limits be limiting. So yeah. And yeah, just Bryson's amazing here. This is that guy's knowledge. I always said like he's a fountain of knowledge. You can just go and he just has so much in-depth details and like information on things which are not really public knowledge most of the time. So yeah.
On this particular incident, which also involved Lando Norris, he's the McLaren that is turning left now as Fernando wanted to make it through into the chicane.
That's a
Norris
sticky
out in
one.
Q2, Alonso out in
I don't know if
Q3.
Norris is going to get a further penalty for impeding Alonso. There's nowhere Russell could really go, but yeah, Alonso's going to argue that he was held up and impeded, even though he impeded Lewis in P1. But we'll get onto that.
Internally, the team and myself, we didn't understood each other how much time left was in the session. So I started the lap just behind Lando because I thought I had like 1 or 2 seconds margin with a red light, and I had like 20-second margin. So if I knew that, I could maybe.
I know, George, it'd be amazing, if we as the fans could just get like an invite into the garage and just see just the mechanics, fueling the cars, putting the tires on, just it'd be so amazing, that experience.
Yeah, first time you've been out in Q1 ever here. What's the car and you capable of doing tomorrow at a circuit that is notoriously difficult to overtake on?
Yeah, I think yesterday we were very
It's
fast.
funny as well that Alonso still got the strapping on his hand. I think in Australia he had a what do you call it, a hydraulic failure, and he's holding on to the steering wheel. So he went, and the steering wheel just went boop. It just like rotated whilst his hand was still in the grip. I think he must have fractured his hand or sprained it or something. So yeah, even though it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since that happened, he still got tape like around his hand, which is quite intriguing.
And the lag will be a huge factor. Like in Miami, there were people starting at the back, Alex, Esteban, and some safety cars could change your race. Tomorrow I'm one of those starting at the back. Let's hope for some luck.
Oh, you're hoping for a safety car, Alonso, yeah? Wily old fox. I see you.
Ever the optimist, he'll be keeping his fingers crossed all night long, I'm sure. So that leaves us then, Martin Brundle, with a couple of Red Bulls in Verstappen and Perez, a couple of Ferraris in Sainz and Leclerc.
Come on, get the show on the road, guys. I'm hyped.
An Alfa Romeo of Bottas, McLaren.
If even one of the Mercedes could get into the top 3 qualifying positions today, I'd be impressed.
Drivers through to Q3. That was a sensational lap by Kevin Magnussen right at the end, wasn't it?
Going very well indeed, and once again, Ferrari-powered cars are strong, aren't they? In terms of
Okay, the 2 Haas drivers are out already.
and with the 2 Hasses and an Alfa Romeo up there, all with that same power unit. Just to confirm how strong
Lewis, Sir Lewis, on his way as well to greatness. Love to see it.
to match his yellow crash helmet and yellow accents on the car.
Same here as well, Neil. Like,
George,
I just don't know what to expect from this race weekend, so it's gonna be interesting. We've only got like 11 more minutes until we have the final judgment, but
Lewis is obviously not too fussy about that.
it's interesting. Mercedes have released Lewis a lot earlier than George too, so maybe they didn't really care so much for the toe.
Going to have to try and get unused to for the rest of time now. If you're just joining us and you're a Sky Q or a Sky Glass,
After ages, Merc boys are fighting for Q3 properly almost. Yeah, I agree, Georgino. Finally, you know, we always praying for the day it would happen, and today seems to be that day. And hopefully, it's not just going to be this race because they were quite strong at Barcelona testing anyway. Hopefully, it's a foundation they can build on for the rest of the season as well. Carlos Sainz, the only driver in Ferrari Red Bull teams yet to be on pole position. Little spice, little bit of salt thrown there, Carlos. There's a graphic that's come up and it's saying that he's the first driver that's driven for a Red Bull powered team and a Ferrari powered team, or Ferrari, should I say, that's never been on pole before. It's interesting. Sainz needs to get up there, or else he's going to be playing the second fiddle role to Leclerc this season. So, what a better opportunity to do it than your home Grand Prix, of course.
Daniel Ricciardo going out to prepare a lap, and he'll be wishing for everything that McLaren think they could have got. I understand Lando Norris. I expect to see him out and doing the walk of shame down to the weighbridge. He didn't because McLaren were arguing with the FIA about how they felt that was very harsh. Is what Karun told us. There, Crofty, as you can understand it. So they told
rules be ruling, guys. Just gotta apply the rules. Right, here comes Sir Lewis. Come on, my guy. Put on a nice lap for us. Give me a nice little lap here. So he comes around the final bend, onto the straight, opens up the DRS. Alright, let's go. Run down into turn 1 now. Oh, looks nice and planted. It's not porpoising. Nice. Nice and steady.
Plenty of track available in turn 2, which opens turn 3 up for him well on turn in. And there's 4. It's always bumpy.
Nice first sector.
Early, and let the car have its head a little bit.
Will Sainz be able to beat Lewis's first sector? It's going to be the ultimate test. Whoo! Still got the first fastest sector. Go on, Lewis. Sainz. Oh, Leclerc hasn't got a faster purple sector either in the first sector. Someone's gone purple. Lewis purple in the second sector, but he's the first to get there, so kind of makes sense.
Nice and wide through the exit of 11, and look at the back of the car just sliding gently through there.
Don't do that, W13. Don't do that. Right, come on, get a nice exit on this corner, man. Nice and conservative on that curb. That's a decent banker lap. It's a decent one. What is it? A 19.6. I think Russell did 19.4 in the previous session, so a couple more attempts there, but looks competitive. 19.4 for Sainz. Charles Leclerc spun it. Those tyres are going to be finished. I wonder if it's affected Russell too. Ah, he's improved.
He might have been around Charles Leclerc when that spin happened. We'll see a replay in a moment.
Max going strong as well.
Going through the final corner now as his teammate Sergio Perez goes second fastest. Verstappen quickest in the first sector and quickest overall.
Jeez. A 19.0 for golden boots, you know. Jeez. Alright, it's not over. If the Mercedes can find another 2 tenths, I'll take that. But they ultimately need 5 tenths if they want to be on the front row. So happened with Leclerc. He's gone over the curb too high, hasn't he? Whew. Jeez, he did put a lot of steering angle. I wonder if it's the brake bias as well. Yeah.
Wouldn't tolerate the amount of steering and the rate of change of steering angle that Charles demanded of the car.
Ferrari said, "Nah, boss, can't park there." Jeez.
As he came towards the chicane.
Did well to hold that though. I thought he was gonna absolutely clout one of the curbs and like ruin the floor.
The Ferrari of Charles Leclerc sliding and coming to a halt out of that chicane. The next car on the road, well, sadly we didn't see in time, was George Russell coming up to that particular point.
Okay, so Verstappen P1, Sainz P2, Perez P3, Russell P4, and Lewis P5. That's the top 5 order.
And of course, he has been on the front row at every
Obviously, Leclerc hasn't set a valid time just yet because he had that spin.
If he can get onto the front row today, that'll tie the longest run.
Mick looks like he's going to be the last of the runners and riders. 500 or 5 temps off of K-Mag. Bottas in P6. I like Bottas, you know, porridge boss. He's minding his own business, just doing what he needs to do. Can't knock him. Man, my room is hot. Let me turn on my fan. Whew.
At the end of the lap, so I don't know whether that contributed to it, but maybe Charles' mind before his run and that spin wasn't.
Yeah, Max just seems to have found a different gear. That lap was, as much as I hate to admit it, that lap was pacey, but it's not over. See what we can do in the final push or the final run of quali laps. I wonder if they're going to make any adjustments to the cars. See one of the Merc engineers touching the front wing of Russell's car.
Yeah, they're not nice things, especially for the junior Formula cars that run along the ground, basically.
Jeez, man, whole army of Max fans, you know, with the orange army and that.
Max Verstappen, meanwhile, timed it to perfection and got a pretty perfect time out of it. A 1:19.0 for a man who has been on.
Come on, Sainz, man. If it's not going to be the Mercedes on pole today, come on, Sainz. Come on, you're in your home Grand Prix, my friend. You need this. You need this.
He's set quite a benchmark for the rest to chase down.
He has, but I tell you what, any of Sainz, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, and Leclerc can join him on the front row of the grid. But
and I think if it was me personally, I'd get out there early because you know one of these guys are going to push too hard and cause a yellow flag, and I think it's going to disrupt the session for everyone else. Let's see. Oh, some Ferrari fans as well. I think that's the Sainz grandstand.
Max finding more and more lap time.
This is race engineer Giampiero Lambiase having a chat while Max Verstappen stays in the garage.
Okay, Leclerc going early.
Leclerc coming out first. Ted, down to you.
I love that calm before the storm, but now they come out. Charles Leclerc, he's got to get it all together to ward off.
Yeah, Leclerc's gone out first. It makes sense because he hasn't set a valid lap yet. He hasn't completed any laps, to be honest, in this session.
George Russell not happy on that first run, Crofty. Was complaining about the rear tyres, saying there was very poor grip. The rear tyres weren't giving him enough grip towards the back of the car to get it planted through that last chicane. Let's see what happens to the Mercedes this run.
I don't know if you can do anything with that. It sounds maybe you could turn down differential, the rear diff, so it stops the car from sliding. You get more traction on the exit of that final corner of the chicane. But yeah, they've got to find 5 temps, so steep order, but it could be done. This is tantalizing. I understand why they do it, but I hate it when the car's just going so slowly on the outlap, when they're just like trying to not take any life out of the tires and they're just slowly going down the road. Like, hurry up! I want to see the lap. Right.
Driver to come out of the pits. He's just making his way through turn 3 at the moment. Max Verstappen now making his way out onto the track. Plenty of time.
Tell me about it, Neo. Oh my God, it's just like you just wait there in anticipation, like, oh, hurry up, hurry up. Is it over already? Right, come on. Has Daniel Ricciardo even come out yet? He's cutting it quite close.
Championship leader was 40 points clear at one stage.
Neo, that emoji says everything. Oh, it's nail-biting stuff, but we'll know what the results are in a minute and 48 seconds. That's what I've got left on my timer. So, come on, Sainz. If it's not the Mercedes, I need it to be you then. Go on. Oh, that's Leclerc. Forgot Leclerc went out first.
But a long way to go before that happened. And
It's a
this
bit
is a
cautious
very, very
first couple of
important
corners.
qualifying lap for
Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc.
Maybe just letting the tires bed in a bit.
90% of these races won from the front row.
Ooh,
23 out of 31
200s off in the
races
first
won
sector. Okay.
from pole position. And Charles Leclerc would dearly be loving to get a fourth pole of
What can Sainz do?
2022 right here. He was on for a very good run in the first part
Sainz
of the
off 2 temps.
he had that spin,
That's not it.
and at the moment, no time on the board during this Q3 session.
Come on,
Wide
what's
in
going on?
Got away with it, but it would have cost him a little bit of time. And down then into heavy braking zone.
Ooh, 2 temps in the middle sector by Leclerc. He's gone wide.
Yeah, so
I don't think that's track limits though. I think you'll get away with that.
tire in the first sector that will help him out in the final few corners.
Yep, keeps it within the white line. Sticking all good for now. Is he going to make the same mistake? No, nice and tidy. On the power. Max has no power. Charles Leclerc on pole by 3 temps at the moment. Where's Sainz? Where's the Mercedes?
How this qualifying session has just swung around in the last few seconds. Delight for Charles Leclerc. Verstappen saying he has no power. Carlos Sainz crosses the line.
Ooh, Sainz doesn't improve. Russell purple in the first sector. All right, let's go. Let's go.
He can't improve. He's missed out
Come on, come on. Come on, Russell. Come on, Lewis. Come on. Let's hold it, man. Hold it. Hold it. At least give me a front row start, please. Go on, Russell. Nice and tidy. Nice and tidy. Ooh. Go on, Russell. Go on, Russell. Go on, Russell. Ah, second row. Okay, we'll take that. Where's Lewis? How are they not showing us? Where's Lewis? Where's Lewis? What are these guys? Why haven't we seen Lewis?
That was a champions lap, wasn't it? He was 1.1
guys,
quicker.
Lewis, where is he? Wow, these guys just like they didn't even acknowledge Lewis. Where is he? You see why I don't like Sky Sports coverage?
So hard to do that, you know, when you've had a clumsy spin and you've got to go out and just forget all about that and deliver a brilliant.
Did Lewis bail out of his lap or something? Have I missed something here?
1 second faster than Q1 and Q2. Pulled that one out of the bag, didn't he? Under such extreme pressure.
They were so infatuated by Max and his flipping GP2 engine, they completely just ignored Lewis. I don't blame you, Julian, at all, because they just cover things like half-heartedly. Like, until now, I still don't understand what's happened to Lewis.
Well, you heard it, Martin. Absolutely stark contrast between.
Oh, Lewis is in the pits now, so he must have bailed out of his lap or something. But yeah, these Sky Sports guys, man, they're terrible. Trust me, it almost is like Lewis is like invisible. Just how have they not mentioned anything about Lewis to this stage? It's true, there definitely is an agenda, Julian. They definitely do want to, like, you know, perpetuate George higher than Lewis for their agendas. It's so true. Oh, okay, he did a lap, but it wasn't tidy. Well, it's still the race, and whilst it's not the front row, it's still positive to see that at least they're a bit more closer, and the car's not damn porpoising as much as it was before. So, I'll take that. But that's going to be an interesting turn one. You got Charles and Max on the front row, and then Sainz P3. That's a recipe for disaster right there. I honestly keep my volume muted while watching the race now. It's insane. Jeez. You know what though, Nia? I can, like, I almost relate to that feeling in a way, because these guys just talk non-stop waffle, and like when it's any of the other drivers, it's like cool, they give like fair criticisms or fair kind of feedback about those drivers. With Lewis now, like, yeah, they just ignore him, like, you know, like he's not there. It's ridiculous. It's just not on. But I don't expect anything less from these people.
From a 360 on his first effort and nowhere
There's a lot to unpack from that session, though.
on pole position.
And if I remember
It shows
correctly,
you how well he can
I think it
handle pressure.
was Ferrari that didn't have great race pace in the simulations they did. So be interesting to see if they can keep the track position. Wow, okay. That Ferrari guy is getting very handsy with Mattia Bonotto there. He's very happy. I think we'll get up there in the race, especially if Max is super aggressive with Charles in turn one. It could get like that. Again, we've seen Max kind of play the more patient game in recent races, but again, this is a chance where he could probably win. And I think Red Bull had the better race pace in the practice sessions they did. So I know he's not going to give Leclerc the win like that, and he won't give the track position to him either. So yeah. And Nia said exactly. It's so true. We know that there's so many agendas with these people, but don't worry. Mercedes soon turn up with the sauce, and Sir Lewis Hamilton soon turn up with the glory again. It's a matter of time.
I feel good. It was a very, very difficult.
Alright, we'll listen to what Leclerc says, and then I think I'll end the stream, guys.
Run of Q3 and then obviously I only had one lap, but it went extremely well. I had a bit of moments on my lap, but at the end made it stick, and very, very happy with pole position. It was a very good lap, and the car was amazing too. So yeah, very happy.
Well, statistically, this track is known to be a track that is won from pole position, so you're in the best position tomorrow to win this race. Will that put you in a strong position for tomorrow's results?
I am in a strong position to start the race, but we've been struggling with tires in the last two races compared to Red Bull. So Max is just behind, and if we don't manage those tires well, we will lose that win. So we need to get on top of it and do a good job tomorrow with tire management.
Well, you've got Carlos right behind you on the grid, so do you think you can put together a team effort to keep the Red Bulls behind you?
Yes, I really, really hope so. I hope we can do a 1-2 together with Carlos. It will be great for the team, and yeah, we'll give it all.
Fantastic. Good luck.
Yeah, Charles did well. He did well to get that pole position, considering he had the slide and the aborted lap on the first run. But I don't know if qualifying first is the best thing around Spain, because it's such a long run, and then obviously you've got everybody that's going to stay behind you in slipstream and then try and overtake you into turn one. So we'll see how that works out. Let's see what happened to Max's car. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I want to know why he had the power surges, because that's the second Red Bull, Honda powered car we've seen have issues. Gasly had issues, I think, in FP3, and now Max as well during qualifying. So it's quite weird. But he made it to the reconnaissance lap, where they line the cars up at the end. So it wasn't a fatal issue for the car. And Nia said, "I'm also impressed by the improvements. We'll take P4 and 6, 100%. I think if you had, based on the form Mercedes had recently, if you had just told us that we're going to get P4, P6 comfortably, we would have taken it with two hands. So can't be too negative, but of course we want to be at the top, man. We want to be at the top. So we'll see. But guys, I'm going to end the stream because I've got a few other bits to do today, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But thank you as always for joining the stream. It's really lovely to have you guys in here. It's given me some confidence to do this more often too, because usually I just do the live streams for the interviews or the podcast and stuff. But I've never done like a Formula One like live review. So lots of fun. But yeah, I will catch you guys in a bit. Hopefully, we can get an even better result tomorrow. And until then, guys, peace. Love you guys loads.